Welcome, everyone. My name is Luis Antonio Pichardo. I'm the founder and executive director of DSTL Arts. DSTL Arts, or DSTL Arts as I call it, is a nonprofit arts mentorship organization. Again, today's session is being recorded, so this will be, with lightly edited for like clarity and that kind of thing, and then uploaded to our YouTube channel and our website for anyone that unfortunately missed the live webinar session. Thank you to those of you that did RSVP in advance for the session. It is much appreciated. It's good to see folks, actively interested in our program. I will be sharing my screen, flipping back and forth a couple of times between the slide deck that you see here currently on the screen, as well as the application itself. The application can be downloaded off of our website right now, and it can also be uploaded through our website, which I will also be showing you in a moment. If you have any questions as we get going, please feel free to use the chat. In the chat, I have the ability to see your questions. We are joined tonight also by Abraham Jaramillo, who is our master teaching artist, and also Angie Castañeda, who is our program coordinator. Both of them are able to answer questions in the chat as well. And if you would like to raise your hand, you're also welcome to raise your hand and ask a question once we acknowledge your hand raised. Also, I'd like to thank Dr. Rosie, Jamie Choi, and Nikolai Garcia for logging on. They are current active mentees in the mentorship program and our Poet Artist Development Program. And they are available to answer questions as well. I'd like to give them an opportunity to answer questions towards the end, but at any time, you're also welcome, folks, to raise your hand, jump in if there's anything that you'd like to add to the presentation. So do feel free to speak about your experiences. Again, tonight we're here for the webinar for prospective applicants. You'll notice that the slide deck is bilingual, it's English and Spanish. Y también quiero preguntar por si tenemos alguien aquí junto con nosotros esta noche que prefiere que hable en español. If there's anyone that would like me to do the active translation as I do the presentation, please do let me know. Si están bien con con el hecho de que dé la presentación en inglés, completamente en inglés, está bien conmigo también. Pero sí quiero presentarles la oportunidad por si prefieren escuchar en español también. Exactly. As Abraham has noted in the chat, se habla español. De todos modos, voy a intentar dar un poco de traducción de vez en cuando. So, just in the event that someone would like to hear it in Spanish. All right, so let's get this going. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is DSTL Arts, right? ¿Qué es DSTL Arts? DSTL Arts, our official mission, is that we are a nonprofit arts mentorship organization that inspires, teaches, and hires emerging artists from underserved communities. Our programs are ultimately designed to give people an opportunity to develop skills that they already have. We're not here as an organization coming in from the outside trying to teach people something that they don't already know. We firmly believe that all of you are already artists, and our role in this community is to give you platforms to develop skills, to learn some new skills, and to potentially become the change makers that you can be. Es sincero, la verdad sí creemos que son todos activistas de una manera u otra, and art is the vehicle for us to do whatever form of activism we feel compelled to do. I do get asked a lot what DSTL stands for. The acronym in our name is in fact an acronym. It stands for Develop Skills and Transcend Limits Through the Arts. So, next time somebody asks you, what is that? You can tell them, I learned it in the webinar. Now, our programs, we have 4 in total. The programs include our Conchas y Café bilingual community writing workshops. It's a 15-week series that we offer twice a year both in the fall and in the spring. And it culminates with the publication of our Conchas y Café zine. It's a bilingual creative writing class. We offer it in both English and Spanish simultaneously, similar to the way that we are presenting this webinar now. Como Abraham dice, se habla español y se escribe en español. Of course, being a bilingual program does not specifically mean that it's English and Spanish, although that is our forte. That is the second language that we speak. We always encourage people to write in the languages that they feel the most comfortable. So if you do speak a language outside of English and Spanish, you're always welcome to practice that in your writing, in your artwork, whatever the case might be. But in the case of Conchas y Cafezine, it's a 15-week series where we teach different forms of creative writing, other techniques in art. This last time, we also were teaching elements of photography. And it publishes biannually the zine Conchas y Cafezine. Art Block Zine is an annual print publication and a monthly podcast that both Abraham and I co-host. It is specifically celebrating and highlighting the work of literary and visual artists in LA County. Art Block Zine is what we call our love letter to LA, and it explores a different theme every year. And this year it is going to be further supported by our Poet Artist Development Program, which I'll explain in a little bit. Artistic Zine is basically a sister zine to Art Block, same format, same basic idea. Every year there is a new theme that we encourage emerging artists from across the US to submit to. The difference between Art Block and Artistic Zine, aside from Artistic Zine being open to the entire US, is that it does specifically look for artwork coming from autistic artists. So individuals who are neurodivergent on the spectrum, whatever nomenclature you use, we are specifically celebrating the work of autistic artists through Artistic Zine. And then, of course, you're here for our Poet Artist Development Program, el Programa para el Desarrollo de Poeta Artistas. This specific program, just the two bullet points here, it's really designed to support emerging writers and artists from historically marginalized communities, as long as you're 18 and older. And there's a reason for us working with ages 18 and older. But what you receive through our program is mentorship, professional development, and publishing opportunities. Additionally, we offer short-term teaching artist and design internships that lead to the development and execution of community-based arts workshops with a social justice and historical kind of bent, right? Those are the themes that we often explore through our programs. Now, the team, those of us that are logged on today are me, of course. We have also Angie and Abraham. Naomi is not able to log on today, but going from the bottom in terms of the order that you see here up, Naomi is our managing editor for Artistic Zine. She is also a practicing graphic designer and visual artist. Naomi, if you have any questions about Artistic Zine, she is available for, kind of like tips on how to apply, things to consider when submitting artwork to be featured in Artistic Zine. And her email address is there on the screen. Also, this PDF will be uploaded to our website, and the PDF does have hot links, accessible hyperlinks. So if you navigate over any of the email addresses and you're on a device that supports it, it will automatically generate an email that you could then, send to us. So but yes, Naomi is the managing editor for Artistic Zine, and Artistic Zine is currently looking for submissions from autistic artists. So do feel free to look into that a little bit more and share it with any autistic individual that you might know. Abraham Jaramillo is our master teaching artist. He is also one of the mentors that provides mentorship through the PAD program. And as an artist, he is not only a visual artist and photographer, but also a poet that helps me co-teach the Conchas y Café bilingual community writing workshops. And I want to definitely give a big shout out to Angie Castañeda. She saved my life this weekend at the very, very hot LA Zine Fest. Thank you for keeping me hydrated. Angie is our program coordinator and is also a previous LA County Poetry Ambassador and a previous mentee in the program. Angie has been around the DSTL Arts programs since her senior year in high school. Not to like put your business all the way out there, Angie, but I've seen Angie grow a lot, is an excellent writer and a fantastic mentor. Um, Dr. Rosie and Jamie Choi both benefit from Angie's mentorship. And I think that, she is definitely an individual worth celebrating. So shout out to Angie. And then there's myself. I am the founder and executive director. My full name is Luis Antonio Pichardo, and I am a poet. I have been doing this for many, many years now. DSTL Arts itself was founded in 2012. I started with just $250 and three mentees who at the time were uh, kind of trying to finish up high school, starting their college careers. Um, and here we are today, almost, 12 years later. And, it's pretty amazing to see the amount of people that are showing interest in our programs now. I'm obviously, I feel weird a little bit talking about myself and the history of DSTL Arts, but you can always learn a little bit more about us by visiting our website, distillarts.org. And when you visit our website, which I do hope you do during the application process, you'll have an opportunity to read about all of our different programs and also see some of the work that we have produced in the past. All of the chapbooks and zines that we produce through our 4 programs are available for purchase online. You can kind of flip through them a little bit. Plus, you can also, keep up with our workshop and events calendar to know what's coming up periodically. Okay, I see here we do have a request for Espanol. All right, Susana. So, para los que prefieren, como digo, escuchar en español, también voy a traducir un poco, pues. Ok, hay que seguirle. So, the reason why you're here. The Poet Artist Development Program has a few different objectives and goals that we try to achieve over the course of every year. El programa típicamente trata de apoyar no solo a los artistas que consideramos emergentes, sino artistas que vienen de comunidades que históricamente han sido marginadas. The historically marginalized communities that we serve can, range from what people typically think of, right? The BIPOC, LGBTQ, but we also consider applications from individuals who come from immigrant communities, refugee communities, plus a few other things that I'll go into a little bit more. Pero como ven aquí, tratamos de enseñar herramientas valiosas para el desarrollo de carreras en el arte. Our program isn't just about helping you develop skills in art and in writing. It's also specifically tailored to teach you new skills in developing a career in the arts sector. And we do that through a variety of means, including professional development seminars and other opportunities that we provide. A través de nuestro programa, cada semana ofrecemos talleres creativos a donde reciben notas sobre sus obras artísticas. The weekly creative writing sessions, or depending on your preferred medium, they're designed to really give you notes and feedback on a manuscript that you develop over the course of the year in our program. It is done primarily through Zoom, so this is a mostly virtual program. Las sesiones se ofrecen a través de Zoom y también en este particular usamos Google Workspace para compartir nuestras obras artísticas. Google Workspace is a very valuable tool for us. It is free for all of you, should you apply and be accepted. And it's also a way for us to be able to, provide updates using Google Classroom, and then, provide you with direct feedback on your writing. As I mentioned already, we have also professional development seminars. We do up to 7. Occasionally, we might add on one or another to sort of reinforce some of the concepts. But in the professional development seminars, we cover a lot of different types of tools that are useful for working artists, such as how to budget, how to develop a business plan, uh, cómo hacer presupuestos o peticiones para becas. Los seminarios para el desarrollo de profesional son mensuales también y se presentan en el mismo día que presentamos o que ofrecemos los talleres. So, there's no need to think we're doing multiple sessions for you. The professional development seminars are offered on the same days that the weekly workshops are typically offered, which at this moment is every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Beginning August 7th, for those of you that would be potentially selected to be part of the new cohort. También ofrecemos la oportunidad de publicar. So as mentioned, we do publish chapbooks in addition to being a small nonprofit organization that provides mentorship. We are also a small press, and we publish chapbook length manuscripts that can be a combination of literary art, visual art, comics, photography. There's a lot of different mediums that we accept. The manuscripts themselves should be anywhere between 30 and 60 pages. So that is something to think about as you develop your application. Los participantes que buscan publicar trabajo tienen la opción de solicitar a un editorial independiente. No siempre tienen que entregar su trabajo a nosotros. Incluso hasta pueden autopublicar. We don't force you to publish through DSTL Arts. You can shop your manuscript. You can also self-publish if that's a path that you want to go down. We're more than happy to support you in those choices, and we can also kind of give you tips on how to do so. If you do decide, as a selected mentee, to publish through DSTL Arts, you would be receiving a royalty for up to 3 years based on a publishing agreement that we sign with you when your manuscript is complete. But again, we focus on anywhere between 30 and 60 pages. And when I say 30 and 60 pages, I mean like a literal page of, 8.5 by 11 paper. There's some guidelines that we provide at the beginning to let you sort of know what you're working towards. But that's like a rough 30 to 60 pages, kind of like a rough count for you to consider as you prepare your applications. Any questions so far? Like I might be going a little fast. Yes, I see a hand from Julie.
Are you talking about 1,000 words per page then? I mean, do you have an idea how many words?
Um, that's a good question, and that's really going to depend on the type of manuscript that you're developing. Which I will, kind of give a little bit of background on what is acceptable. But generally speaking, it's 30 to 60 pages of anything from poetry or short stories. It could be a combination of both. It could be a comic or graphic novel. Uh, so it really depends on the individual and the project that you're proposing.
Okay.
Así que,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. No hay cuenta de palabras que solicitamos en sus manuscritos, pero sí es importante más o menos saber que en total, cuando se trata de los manuscritos, deben de ser entre 30 a 60 páginas de largo, incluyendo ilustraciones, fotografías, páginas de poesía, todo en su totalidad, I guess you could say. All right. A very good question. Thank you, Julie. We also offer internships through our Poet Artist Development Program. Now, it is very important for everyone to understand that the internships are for individuals in the program who have already completed a manuscript. So this might be something that you would be eligible for on your second year of being in our program. Las pasantías solo son para los alumnos o integrantes del programa que han completado su manuscrito y que ya han entregado su trabajo terminado. We offer two different types of internships, one of them being our teaching artist internship and one of them being a design internship. The thing about all of our internships is that they are paid. Nosotros pagamos el trabajo que se produce durante la pasantía, sea pasantía de maestro de arte o pasantía de diseñador. Um, there's an open application period for second year participants, people, like I said, who have already completed a manuscript. And part of the reason why we're doing it this way is because it's a big time commitment. And being in our program is a very large time commitment. Sorry, my phone keeps on going off. Um, so yeah, we are, trying this year. Before we didn't offer it to first year participants, but we found that the time commitment for the internships is kind of sometimes rough, given that a lot of people have not only this program but also a day job to think about. So, this is kind of a new way that we're going to be approaching the internships. We do have a few people who have participated in the internships in the room. So again, shout out to Dr. Rosie and Jamie and Nikolai, who have all been interns in our program in the past while we were piloting it. So this is a relatively new element of this program, and I'm happy to, offer this to those of you that are potential candidates for our mentorship program. Should you be selected, you would be able to essentially take part in this in your second year. Now, as part of our application, we do say that our program is specifically for emerging artists. And we define an emerging artist as such: a person that is a practicing poet or artist with less than 5 years of experience exhibiting artwork and or less than 10 publishing credits. Para nosotros, un artista emergente es alguien que apenas va empezando su carrera y a veces eso es medio difícil, definir eso, pero para el proceso que usamos, básicamente usamos esta métrica. Tienen menos de 5 años de experiencia presentando su arte, sea en bueno, de manera profesional, hay que decir. Y también, o quizá tengan menos de 10 créditos editoriales, o sea, han sido publicados menos de 10 veces. By experience exhibiting artwork or publishing, we don't count things that you may have done while in school, for those of you that had the opportunity to publish while in college, or while in high school or anything like that. We generally would consider this as exhibiting or showing in a professional gallery in a space that is basically a commercial space, a place where they are actively selling your artwork. And for publishing credits, more or less the same goes. If you've been featured in uh, like a journal on your campus where you were attending, we wouldn't, ding you in those particular cases. But if you've published relatively a lot through other journals and magazines, then you may be potentially considered a mid-career artist. But we are generally flexible with this. There's different ways in which we could potentially calculate it, but for at least the purposes of our application, this is the general definition. And there's an opportunity to explain to us if you have published, like, say, 11 times or 12 times, or if you've exhibited for at least 6-7 years in a minor capacity. So No es que quiero desanimar a gente usando esta definición. Sí hay un poco de flexibilidad por si es necesario am, articular por qué han estado publicando por más de 5 años o tienen más de 10 créditos de editoriales. Am, pero en general, esta es la definición que usamos para la aplicación. There are additional criteria that we look at, and there's also certain priorities that we provide to candidates. Um, si, bueno, para empezar, tienen que tener 18 años de edad o más. It's 18 and older only. Unfortunately, we're not able to accept people in the program if they are under the age of 18 at this time. That has a lot to do with our processing of payroll and also for the purpose of royalty payments. So, we need to be able to enter into a contract with an individual should they be published with us. So that's why 18 and older generally makes it a little bit easier for us. But like, let's say, you're a person who is like 17 and turns 18 in the next few months, we can definitely be flexible in that. But that is the extent to which we can be flexible. It has to be 18 and older. Además de tener 18 años de edad o más, deben de tener residencia en el condado de Los Ángeles. So this is a LA-based program. This is only for LA-based artists. There is special priority given to individuals who live in the communities of Southeast or South Central LA, including Vernon, Watts, Compton, and all the neighboring um, gateway communities. Also, East or Northeast LA County, which includes areas like Lincoln Heights, Boyle Heights, East LA, Pomona, all the way out there. Areas of the San Gabriel Valley, and of course, the East San Fernando Valley. And its adjacent communities. So, sí hay prioridad de consideración para la gente que vive en diferentes áreas, principalmente en las áreas del este, noreste o el sur, centro, sureste de Los Ángeles. It's also very important that a person not be enrolled in college or in any other degree granting program. As I said, we have a pretty strict attendance policy, and there is a lot of time that we expect people to be dedicating to their artwork as well as the artwork of others, because the feedback sessions are very, very valuable to everyone in our programs. So, given the time commitment, which is at minimum 3 hours a week, we want to make sure that you are able to handle that. And being enrolled in college and attending a degree granting program in some cases may be very stressful. So we want to make sure that you're able to complete a project and stay sane ultimately. Así que por esa razón, porque al mínimo son 3 horas que deben de dedicar a este programa, los candidatos no deben estar actualmente asistiendo a un programa que otorga títulos. A pesar de eso, sí se permite matriculación o asistencia a programas que ofrecen el equivalente al diploma de high school. So in spite of all of that, it is still okay if you are currently attending a high school equivalency program. We obviously want you to get that high school diploma. It's a very important tool in this journey. Not obviously a tool that we we take for granted. But we want to definitely make sure that you feel supported in doing that while also starting off your career as an artist. Incluso se da prioridad de consideración a personas que quizás sean de diferentes comunidades que han sido marginadas. Por ejemplo, jóvenes que han sido antes o actualmente que están en adopción temporal y también gente que ha sido impactada por el sistema judicial. So these additional things that we consider, either being a former or current foster youth, a justice impacted individual, an English language learner, immigrant or refugee community member, as I mentioned earlier, or a member of the LGBTQ community. Your voices are very important and have often been marginalized. So of course, we want to make sure that your voice is given a platform. Así que Hay diferentes maneras en que uno puede ser elegible para este programa. Am, y pues queremos conocer más sobre ustedes. Y como dije, este es una plataforma para la gente que ha sido más marginalizada. Así que por eso damos prioridad de consideración a diferentes comunidades. Obviamente todos son invitados, pero otra vez queremos conectar y representar a las voces más marginadas. Historically marginalized voices, as I said already, is one of the reasons why this organization was founded in the first place. I mean, I don't know if it's very obvious for those of you in the group, but I'm a fairly dark-skinned person, and I have experienced a fair amount of racism in my life, including in the nonprofit sector and in the arts. That is one of the main reasons why I started DSTL Arts, because I got tired of that. I got tired of not being able to publish my work in my language, the language that I love and write in, and practice my art in. And so, I went about learning all of these different skills to be able to self-publish and turn this into a career. And ultimately, I said, I don't want to hold on to this information for myself. I want to share it. So that's why we are here. We're here to give platform to those of us that feel like we've been historically left out. That is the main purpose of our program. All right. Any questions so far? Anybody want to jump in at this time? So again, this PDF will be uploaded to our website where you can, review it if you want to review it along with the video. Um, and the PDF itself does have hyperlinks. So if you hover over any of the web links that you see on the screen, it will immediately take you to the website or, generate an email. But the application itself, the PDF that you will need to download and complete, or if you prefer, the Microsoft Office document that you need to download and complete, that is accessible only on our website, which is distillarts.org/mentorship. Esta página de web es muy importante. Van a tener que ir allí, visitar la página y bajar de allí, sea el archivo PDF o el archivo de Microsoft Word para llenar la aplicación y luego someterla otra vez o subirla otra vez al portal que usamos. And so, because this is a very important page for everyone to be familiar with, I will take a moment away from the PDF itself and we will visit the DSTL Arts website. Aquí tienen la página de web de DSTL Arts. This is the DSTL Arts website itself. This is the homepage. When you visit the homepage, if you did go from the homepage to the mentorship program, if you don't follow the link that's in the PDF, you'll obviously find this here. You'll need to go up to the tab that says Programs. Aquí bajo Programas van a encontrar Poet Artist Development Program. Hagan clic aquí. When you click on that, it's going to give you the rundown, the general overview of our program, a lot of the stuff that we've been covering, including the program eligibility stuff, and then a reminder of all the different components, which in the end is really just 4 components. It might seem like a lot, but it really isn't. You'll find when you scroll down here, this section. Aquí en esta parte, en esta sección de la página de web, es a donde pueden bajar la aplicación. And you have 2 options for downloading this. You can either download it in English or you can download it in Spanish. And you can download it as either a Microsoft Office .doc or you can download it as a PDF. The PDF obviously doesn't allow you to manipulate it, but you can always copy and paste to another document, whether it's a Google Doc or a Microsoft Office doc, Pages doc if you're on Apple, and then you can fill out the questions there. So, esta parte de la página de web es muy importante. Aquí es a donde van a bajar la aplicación. This application also will, and we'll review it in a moment, but this application will also provide you with all the questions that are part of the narrative and a space for you to fill in your project proposal. You'll need to upload that document along with the other support materials. How many people will be accepted into the program is a question in the chat. At this time, we are able to accept 6 new members into our mentorship program. So the application is definitely, useful for us in getting to know you and your artwork. Once you complete your application, all the narrative questions, plus you get your 2 letters of recommendation and you have your portfolio ready, you'll go back to this website and you'll click on the button here that says Submit Now. Aquí a donde ven que dice Entrega hoy, es a donde van a hacer clic y luego los va a llevar a Submittable. If you don't have a Submittable account, I highly, highly recommend that you create one. It's a great tool for finding other publishing opportunities, grants, fellowship applications. There's a variety of uses for Submittable, so I definitely recommend you have one, have an account. Aquí también van a ver el resumen del programa. A lot of the stuff is the same stuff that you'll find on the website. Plus, you'll find the application period, right? So the timeline, and also a list again of the components. So you'll need to make sure you have all of these components when you are ready to upload, which includes the narrative questions that you have downloaded, hopefully from the website. That includes within those narrative questions the project proposal, 2 letters of recommendation, and also a digital portfolio. I'll get into those a little bit more, but you'll want to, in preparing for the portfolio, you'll want to visit the website again, go to the Submittable, and find here the ways in which you would want to prepare your documents for the portfolio. So we accept poetry, flash fiction, short stories, or creative nonfiction. If it's poetry, up to 4 poems. If it's flash fiction, short stories, or creative nonfiction, basically anything prose, 300 words or less. You can do single spaced, we don't mind. But it would need to be up to 2 works of prose if you're submitting prose. If you're submitting visual art, you will be either submitting something as a PDF, which would be the case for a comic if you're working in that medium. Los cómics obviamente incluyen no solo las palabras, sino las imágenes, y por eso preferimos que se suba en formato PDF. Ese tipo de archivo, obviamente, it helps to kind of retain some of the quality of the work. Or if you submit it as a JPEG or PNG, that's fine as well. Which would be the case for any other type of illustration, whether it be printmaking, 2D mixed media, murals, street art, photographs, that kind of thing. Igual como fotografías, en archivo tipo JPEG o PNG. Yes, Julie, I see your hand is raised.
I work with artists, and I would love to submit images from painters.
Mhm.
But they would be, they would not be me. They would be other people.
Yeah.
Is that okay to do?
This portfolio is a portfolio of your work. So if
Mhm.
you are applying for the program, then you would need to submit work that is yours.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And again, the guidelines for submission, for the portfolio submission, they're all here. They're relatively easy to follow. Si es escritura creativa, pedimos que sea algo similar a Times New Roman, cuando se trata de tipografía. Tamaño 12 puntos, the pretty traditional 12-point font in Times New Roman or similar. Those are the fonts that we prefer. It's easy to read, it's legible, it won't, come up with missing characters, that kind of thing. Y puede ser en formato PDF, .doc, or .x. Right, Jamie, no papyrus. Which, for those of you that are selected, or for those of you that watch our professional development seminars on YouTube, you'll get the joke. But yeah, so aquí tienen las pautas para entregar su trabajo. Any questions so far for this? Okay, la aplicación, como dije, incluye preguntas narrativas. The narrative questions, again, it's an introduction of you. right? You're introducing us to you. We want to generally understand your motivations, your influences, and if applicable, your website and social media presence, should you have these already prepared as an artist. We'd like to get to know you and your artwork, of course. Plus, we'd like to understand your commitment to your craft and community. So, for that reason, we do ask that the letters of recommendation kind of reflect this concept here. Las cartas de recomendación sí esperamos que nos dé una buena idea de qué tipo de compromiso tienen a su trabajo, a su práctica. Si se comprometen a siempre estar mejorando, pues todavía mejor, ¿verdad? Y esperamos que por eso están aplicando a este programa. Pero últimamente, cuando ya al fin del día, este programa es para la gente que quiere mejorar, right? Those of you that look to develop your talents, your skills. And the proposal, like I said, that's also a big part of this. And this is a section that is included in the narrative questions. So, again, the chapbook length manuscript that we're anticipating publishing should be anywhere between 30 and 60 pages. And it should be something that can be realistically completed within 10 to 12 months. There is a little bit of wiggle room, within this, but try to keep it to something that can be, feasibly completed within a year. Los manuscritos o monografías, si se trata de arte visual, la verdad deben de ser completadas dentro de 10 o 12 meses. Y en parte es porque, pues, tenemos los fondos para poder producir sus obras. Y ese dinero que viene del Estado y del gobierno federal se tiene que gastar durante cierto tiempo. So, full transparency, the funding that we receive to support this program does require us to use the funding within this time period. So, what we have budgeted for the individual chapbooks that we are able to produce, again, it puts us in a tight spot if you go over the 12 months. There's a little bit of flexibility there, but not a ton. So again, realistically, try to complete the manuscripts within that time frame. And one tip that we can give you is to really think of a theme, right? If your theme is very strong and it centers your artwork in a way that helps you articulate your project, all the better. We definitely encourage you to try to focus on a single theme that you'd like to explore. And again, the mediums that can be, proposed as part of your project can include any form of writing that is relatively short. So poetry, short stories, essay, or memoir. You can also do comic books or graphic novels as long as it's a single issue, photography, or other forms of illustrated texts. And I mean, we've done like children's books in the past. We've also done artist monographs. So there's definitely some leeway here in terms of your creativity and what you would like to turn into a chapbook that would be to your benefit. Y sí, como dije antes, una combinación de poesía, cuentos cortos, ensayos o biografías. Cómics también se puede proponer, con tal que sea una edición sencilla, o sea, solo una edición. También monografías de fotografía, otro tipo de texto ilustrado, sea un libro para niños, libros infantiles, sí hemos publicado en el pasado, igual que cómics, y hasta monografías que se usan como portafolio. So do take advantage of the fact that we can do imagery. Y luego, like I said before, there is the digital portfolio that's part of the required support materials. And it's very important that you try to limit it to 4 works of art. This could be, again, in whatever medium it is that you prefer working in. And then the guidelines for preparing your work are on the application portal, which is accessible through our website. Cuando se trata de las obras que escojan para su portafolio, traten de mandarnos trabajo que muestre su estilo creativo. o trabajos que enseña que han estado desarrollando su talento. That is something that we do want to be, kind of like that we're curious about, right? When you're selecting your artwork, choose artwork that reflects your style and, if possible, some of the growth that you feel you've had. It won't be like we're critiquing it in a way that's not going to be for publication or anything. We want to really just kind of see how you are approaching your storytelling and how you've developed it over the course of the years. So the portfolio is not like the high. We're not expecting always the highest quality work. Is basically what I'm saying. Present to us work that demonstrates who you are and how you've grown in your storytelling. Y también, como dije hace rato, dos cartas de recomendación. Eso sí es parte de lo que pedimos. Um, it's really up to you who you choose to have as your recommenders, but two different people should write letters of recommendation for you. We would obviously recommend that it be people that know you well, but maybe not family members. So, past mentors, teachers, colleagues in the field, people that may or may not, have had a lot of experience with you on a personal level, but have had experience with your work ethic, with your ability to complete projects. Those are some of the things that we're hoping to get in terms of, the like, ¿cómo se dice? Like from the letters of recommendation, we want to get a good sense of your work ethic and those kinds of things and ability to complete a project ultimately. Because again, we do anticipate that this will take up to a year. Right? Um, so aquí tienen las cosas que deben de salir en las cartas de recomendación. Thank you, Angie, for answering the question. That was in the chat. I believe that was what your answer was for. For those that didn't get to hear the question on the live streams, the question was, can you submit two different styles of artwork, poetry/paintings? Absolutely. You can do any combination of the type of artwork that you create. So it could be, a couple of pages of a comic, plus a poem, plus a short story. It could be, some photography and flash fiction. It could be, whatever, like I said, whatever you practice now. Um, as long as you stay within uh, the four pieces total. Right. Very good question. Any other questions related to the letters of recommendation or the other support materials that we've covered so far? What if you finish your project before 10 months? Well, if you finish your project before 10 months, that's great. And we will continue working with you over the course of the year. Um, Typically, what happens is we will receive the manuscript. Once it's kind of finalized, we might go through it with a little bit more of a fine-tooth comb. A lot of times that's also when we start to talk about the final design phase. If you want to have DSTL Arts publish it, if you are hoping to maybe shop it with another press, we can also support you during the time period that you're with us. We can recommend different presses to you. We can, support you in looking for grants that might pay for it. If you decide to self-publish it, so there's a few different things that could happen if you do finish your manuscript before the 10-month time period. Excellent question. Thank you, Carlos. So again, everything should be submitted online. We don't accept paper applications. We don't provide you the address to mail stuff anyway. So I don't know how you would do that, but it's all done through the website. So make sure that you go to distillarts.org/mentorship. Again, that's where you'll download the application materials, all of the narrative questions. Ahí también es a donde se puede encontrar este PDF, este archivo, para que puedan repasar si han tomado notas o lo que sea. Y también este video se va a encontrar ahí. Pero ese va a ser un recurso muy importante para todos ustedes. And again, the only way you can get to that submittable page is through this website. So it is a private submittable. page. You won't be able to find it if you just log on to Submittable. So you'll have to go here again. Yeah, unfortunately, passenger pigeon is not viable. Thank you for bringing that up, though, just in case there were questions there, Jamie. All right. To give you an idea of what we're looking for as well, um, at the minimum, applications should be complete, right? They should have all of the narrative questions should be filled out. They should be concise. Um, the letters of recommendation, your portfolio should demonstrate your craft and your connections to your community. And then you should also have a feasible project that you can complete again within the 10 to 12 month time period. Este, las aplicaciones, la verdad, cuando las estamos analizando, viendo quién quizá pueda también formar parte del programa, estamos buscando diferentes cosas que nos muestre su compromiso a su arte, ¿verdad? A su práctica. Queremos de verdad conocer a ustedes, para empezar, y ver cómo han ido fomentando su trabajo. Así que ah, al mínimo traten de presentar eso en su aplicación, junto con todos los materiales que forman parte de su aplicación. Um, Select applicants will also be invited to interview with us in a small panel interview. It could be either me and Angie, or me, Abraham and Angie, or me and Abraham. We will be inviting people to round two, beginning in the middle of July. So right after the application deadline, we're going to be inviting people to come and interview with us to just get a better sense of your application and materials, and to answer any kind of questions that we might have. Para los que son invitados a entrevistar, queremos durante la entrevista determinar su capacidad, sea, el compromiso de tiempo, también si hay alguna otra cosa que necesitan hay que decir, apoyo técnico cuando se trata de accesar el internet o algo así, que ojalá no sea un problema muy, muy grande, pero sí estamos buscando la manera en que nos podemos apoyar uno entre el otro. Am, También, si tenemos preguntas acerca de su aplicación y los materiales que nos entregan, por eso estamos también ofreciendo la entrevista. The interviews themselves, are generally about half an hour long. We try to uh, clarify any kind of questions that we might have that might come up from the application itself. But it is your opportunity to tell us your story and to kind of give us a sense of whether or not this is a commitment that you're able to live up to. I know I've said it multiple times, but we really want to make sure that it's clear. At minimum, this is going to take 3 hours out of your week. And that 3 hours will include you working on your own artwork, your own project, and also providing feedback on the work of others. You will be put into a cohort in which you will be working with at least 2 other people to develop your artwork, to develop your project. For some people that can take a little bit longer than the 3 hours, but generally speaking, that is the minimum that we have experienced in terms of time commitment. So, yeah, estén listos para hablar sobre eso, de que pueden comprometerse a dar el 100% al mínimo 3 horas a la semana. This is also a rubric that shows you how we are scoring the applications. We basically have 3 different levels. Necesita mejorar, moderado o excelente. Una aplicación excelente va a cumplir con lo que está aquí arriba. So these are all the things that make up an excellent application. We also have all of these things here. I'm not going to go through every single one because it's kind of a lot. I mean, it looks like a lot, I should say. It's not really that much. that we're scoring on. But we are scoring the three things that you see here. So the narrative questions, your answers to the narrative questions, and your portfolio, your project proposal. And again, we're looking at how realistically feasible is it, right? Can you finish it within the year? Si va a tomar un poquito más de de un año para terminar, entonces su aplicación quizá caiga en este rango aquí. Así que yo recomiendo que vayan a la página de web empezando mañana para bajar este archivo y pueden leer con más detalle esta sección, la rúbrica que usamos para accesar las aplicaciones. So we'll, again, in the next day, I will be, tomorrow, I'll be uploading at least this particular PDF for you to take more time to read and get to know if you want to use that as a way to understand how we are looking at the applications. Aquí tenemos la cronología de selecciones. So the timeline for the program. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat, actually. Thank you, Abraham, for reminding me. So I'll put this PDF up in the chat at the end, and when we get to the Q&A part, that way you can download it directly, those of you that are in attendance now. But the deadline to apply is July 15th. El último día para entregar su aplicación es el 15 de julio a las 11:59 p.m. hora Pacífico. For those of you not currently in LA, we do anticipate that you are at least living in LA. But do keep in mind that July 15th at 11:59 p.m., that is the time in which the application will close. That's 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. We are accepting applications now, and we will begin reviewing the first of the applications on June 30th. So we're going to try to give ourselves plenty of time to review applications. The last day that we are committing to reviewing applications is the 19th, so that the interviews will take place on the week of July 22nd through July 26th. Si son invitados a entrevistar con nosotros, va a ser uno de estos días, entre el 22 y el 26 de julio. Las entrevistas se ofrecerán entre las horas del 3 a 6 p.m. al diario, o sea, en las tardes. All the interviews, if you are invited to interview, will be conducted between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. You will be offered the opportunity to select the time and day that works best for you. Just know that those are going to be, generally speaking, the time ranges and the dates that we will be offering the interviews. Y luego, los que son elegidos para formar parte del programa serán invitados a la orientación el 7 de agosto. At minimum, we are committing, oops, put a little typo there, but at the minimum, we will let everyone know whether you are selected or not by July 31st. El 31 de julio, ahí disculpen el error ahí, pero el 31 de julio es el último día, el mero último día que vamos a dar avisos del estatus para el programa. Y luego, si son elegidos, como dije, para formar parte del programa, la orientación será el 7 de agosto. So August 7th, if you are selected, that will be your first day that you are in our program. And to answer the question in the chat, will class be held on Wednesday and it will start at 6:30 p.m. every week? That is correct. That's been kind of our schedule. We found that has worked fairly well for everyone. And when we meet, it's also 1.5 hour sessions. So it's from 6:30 p.m. till 8 p.m. We try our best to stick within that time. We don't really like to keep people too late. But yes, so our program does happen on Wednesdays on a weekly basis. We do offer periodic breaks, like holiday breaks, for the major holidays in the fall and winter. But generally speaking, it is every single week without a pause. So, hoy en español. La pregunta fue que si las clases o el programa se ofrece cada miércoles. Sí, es cada miércoles de las 6:30 hasta las 8 de la noche. La única razón por que no vamos a tener clases va a ser por días feriados en diciembre y noviembre y de vez en cuando hay otros eventos. Um, the sessions themselves are an hour and a half. So from 6:30 to 8 p.m. on a weekly basis. You are welcome, Mikey. Uh, Y también los candidatos que son elegidos para formar parte del programa recibirán un acceso particular a nuestro foro en Google Classroom. I mentioned it before. Google Classroom is our tool of choice for sharing updates that are unique to the program. So if you are selected to be part of the program, you also should expect to receive access to our web forum that is based on Google Classroom. Yeah. I think I covered all of the dates, all of the important dates. We did mention this before, pero es bueno repetirlos. Tenemos cupo para hasta 6 candidatos. 6 applicants will be invited to join our cohort for the program year 2024-2025. One thing that I should mention, if you are in our program, whether you are, uh, joining us for the very first time, or as you've maybe already surmised, people that are in the group right now, some of them have been in our program for a couple of years or even longer. Once you are in our program, this is basically, you're in for life. We pride ourselves on being kind of like a little family. And, that's why we use the hashtag ArtsFam, because, we genuinely want to be there for you to support you in your career as an artist, as you grow to the degree that you want us to be there, right? Así que, DSTL Arts por vida. Y ahora sí, preguntas. So does anyone have any questions? This is also an opportunity, if you like, to ask questions of either Dr. Rosie, Jamie, or Nikolai, who are joining us tonight. Let me actually stop sharing my screen. And if you have anything that you'd like to add, Dr. Rosie, Jamie, or Nikolai, you're also welcome to jump in now.
Right.
Hello.
Okay. I would like to add from what you've said from my experience, if it's okay to do it now.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone, welcome. Welcome to DSTL Arts. It is a very close knit program, and everyone really, the you have Luis, you have Abraham, and you have Angie, and they really care. They really care about your work, about what your needs and all that. So I learned that, and I just fell in love with the program and what it offers. I started back in 2022, and I had never written a poem in my life. I've written other productions and things like that, but I had never written a poem. And I was honest with him and let him know that. And I had already published a couple of things, but again, never a poem. And I was interested in it, and so I the first program that I got into was Conchas y Café, and Luis was my mentor, and so I super learned the importance and the beauty of expressing yourself through poetry, and it really gave me a whole world, a new world and journey for me to pursue this. And I was able to complete, my poems. I submitted 5 in the zine that they had, and we published one that's called "See My Words," and so I was real proud of that, because it was a a collaboration of the cohort that was in the program of Conchas y Café, and you learn so much, and you know, the different styles of writing poetry and all that I never even knew. And so I don't consider myself an expert, but I do consider myself more experienced. How's that? So, but and I'm loving it. I'm loving every moment of it. I'm a diehard attendee, so I I really try my best to not be absent. And when I was invited to this for you know to talk to you, to me it was important because you know this is so new to maybe some of you, but be assured if you get in the program, you're going to really love it yourself because you're going to learn so much. You know, the another thing too is that I published another book here, and this is my own. And so yes, and it just came out in April, so I'm real proud of it. And the thing was is that when they're telling you you have 10 months to, you know, 10 to 12 months to get it done, you know, or 11 to 12 months, you really have to be organized. It's so important, you know, do a folder of your poems and get them in there. And you know, because you're really helping yourself by staying very organized. And yes, it is about 3 to 4 hours because you have to look at, it's so important about sharing and caring about other people's work of your cohort. So you read it, you and then you give feedback, and you do your best with that. Some are more experienced than others, but that's okay. And the thing is that you really learn from each other. You learn as long as your heart is open, and you're considerate, and you're respecting other individuals, regardless of who you're working with. It's so important. And so I did mine in I submitted mine in order to finish this chapbook. I did it in 10 months. And I to answer Julie's question, and maybe some others that may have some questions, the my I 14 14 poems. And my poems consist my book consists of, just so that it's a variety of things. It consists of storytelling, short storytelling, haikus, and also included some images, you know, according to whatever the story was in the poem. So you know, it was a combination. And then also I completed, let's see here, this book here is 87 pages, so it can be done. And I did it with 14 poems. And so it is, you just keep, the main thing is, when they tell you, you know, your mentors, to submit, work on it, because besides the 3 hours of working on your cohorts, you know, the getting ready for the feedback and submitting it on time so that they can see it too, you're also working on your stuff. You're working on your poems. And that, to me, I committed another extra 3 hours to 4 hours in order for me to submit something that would be, you know, valuable, that I consider important. And then that way I can submit it on time, and then I can get feedback from my cohort partners. So I think it's just really important that I'm looking at my notes here. I think it's just really important that we work together. We work together as a team, and you always have Luis, Abraham, and Angie there. And Angie's is she works with us. So who? Yay, Angie!
Yes,
Sorry,
Angie.
Yes, and Jamie does too. You know, so we're very you know, blessed here in this organization. And you know, you get your work done, but you also get, you know, work with your partners, and you help each other out.
Mhm.
And it just all works really well. And so when Luis asked us to volunteer in different sectors of the program, you know, with con todo corazón, we do it with all our heart. We do the, whatever we can, because that's giving back. Since these three, individuals give so much to us, it's just, it goes around, the goodness goes around. So we give back. So that's why we're here tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Rosie. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I did want to take a quick moment here to answer a couple of questions that came up in our Instagram Live. Hopefully the folks are still logged on. The time frame for the dates, if I'm understanding the question, the time frame for the application itself, deadline is July 15th. And then the following week, between the 22nd and 26th, we will offer round 2 interviews. And then we will make selections by the end of July. Selected candidates will start on August 7th with their orientation. In terms of the program's time frame, the program time frame is essentially from August 7th all the way until the following June 30th. And beyond, right? There are individuals who may stay on a little bit longer. There is always the opportunity to continue in the program should you want to. At least in the sense of, you're able to get other additional support, join the professional development seminars, and we're always a resource for you. Another question that we got in the Instagram Live was, how do I know what kind of writing I'm doing for the portfolio purposes? The type of writing that you are doing is going to kind of depend on, I guess, your point of view. I can't really say specifically what type of writing you would be doing without taking a look at it. But just know, there's at least up to 4 slots that you can use in the portfolio upload. If you're uploading prose, things that are written kind of like in your general paragraph format, we're asking that be around 300 words per piece, and then you have up to 4 300-word pieces that you can upload. If it's poetry, something that is maybe a little bit more short form, again, the same rule applies, up to 4 pieces. Obviously, poetry can be a little bit more than 300 words, but I mean, a 300-word poem is kind of a long one, so we don't expect epic poetry to that degree. I hope, Piñata Lounge, I hope that answered your question. But, send us your work. Send us the work that you feel most represents your style, your personal growth as an artist. That's ultimately the purpose of the portfolio itself. Yeah, we don't expect it, we need it. Right. Any other questions? Jamie or Nick, either of you want to jump in as well?
Oh, yeah, I think like when I did the application last year, just like from like my experience of like choosing the works, I think the best way to go about it is to like get like if you understand kind of your voice or feel that there are pieces or like excerpts that represent you as an artist or writer, because I'm a writer, so I'm coming from this in like a writer's perspective. I think those would be the best pieces to kind of like put out there, rather than things that maybe like you weren't feeling as much. I would just try to pick works that really feel like represent who you are as an artist. And yeah, and also the program is really great for establishing yourself, like in terms of career, since it's for emerging artists and like beginning artists. I think like the the program, the workshops that we've done, I forget the name of those, the like
Seminars?
the ones that you do, Louise.
Yeah.
Which one? Which ones are those? Yeah, those they have a name.
The professional
Those are
development
really
seminars.
helpful. Yes, professional development. Yes, exactly the word. Exactly the word. It's to help you establish and find ways to like have a more structured way of approaching your existence within the market of art in general. So I think those will also be really, really helpful. And I do encourage everyone to try and get into the program, since you know, it's like it is being offered for free, and it's an amazing opportunity either way. And yeah, I think like in any case, you will benefit greatly as long as you put as much effort into it as everybody at DSTL Arts is too. Yeah, it's like whatever you get out of this program will depend on and be contingent upon your own efforts toward finishing out the project in particular. Yeah.
Thank you, Jane. Yeah, we hope that that this gives you, some insights, some of the things that we are looking for when it comes to participation in our program. If you have any additional questions, you can still put them in the chat, and I'll hold on here for a couple more minutes. Should you have a question that arises later after the fact, you're also welcome to reach out to us. Our email addresses are on the slide deck itself. You can see them here. You can also find our website, dstilarts.org, here on the final page. I hope that all of you are following us on social media using @DSTL Arts. This is, just part of what we do. And again, you can reach out directly to us with questions. If you are, struggling with any kind of technical thing, uploading work, not sure of, how to properly format something, we're available to help you with those types of things. Obviously before July 15th. So yeah. Again, let me upload in the chat one more time the file, the slide deck, so that way anyone that wasn't able to access it earlier is able to download it now. And again, the recording will live on our YouTube channel and our website as early as tomorrow, along with this PDF. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone. I know originally I had scheduled this to be just an hour long, but we did go over a little bit. I hope that you all find this information useful as you move forward in your application. Before I forget, this is what the application will look like when you download it off of our website. So again, quick program overview, all the eligibility stuff, a reminder of all the different components that you need to assemble for this, the timeline, the portal, and then the narrative questions. So this is what you will see when you download either the PDF or the Microsoft Word document. Y aquí en español tenemos la misma aplicación con la misma información que la de en inglés. Y aquí al fin del paquete se encuentran las preguntas narrativas. Estas son las preguntas que van a escribir las respuestas y luego entregar junto con su portafolio y las cartas de recomendación. Y aquí tienen a donde pueden escribir su propuesta de proyecto. All right. So thank you again, everyone. And I hope you all.
I just want to say real quick, folks, don't be intimidated by the application process. It seems kind of long. Just do it. Just do it. And because you're not going to regret getting into DSTL Arts. It will. It's a gift. That's all I can say. Good luck to you all.
Agreed.
Buena suerte para todos.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your night.
All right.
See you at DSTL Arts.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.